Well, good morning, Heidi. Thank you again for taking the time to meet with me today. As you know, we met a few weeks ago, and I uncovered a lot of good information about your business. And what I'd like to do today, just to do a recap of what your marketing strategy looks like, specifically how you're showing up online, and just some of the different factors that go into that. It's always a good idea, just like you go to the doctor once a year, just to get a checkup, just to see, okay, how am I showing up? How are my competition showing up out there online? And what are some of the things that my potential customers might be looking for? So does that sound okay? Okay, so today it's all about you, and it's all about your needs, your customers, and your capacity to grow. And as we go through some of this information today, what I'd like for you to think about is what your customers' experience is really like. So as we go through these slides of how you appear online, think about, what are your potential customers looking for? How are they hunting for you? What's available to them in the marketplace? What are the competitors offering to them? And then, are you really easy to do business with? Do you offer what they really need? Is it easy to get answers to their specific questions? And are you perceived as trustworthy, reputable, and relevant to the customer's needs? Okay, so we're going to look at 5 different ways that these questions can be answered for a potential customer. So we're going to look at your website. We're going to look at some search engine optimization and what makes it impactful. We're going to look at your Dexnose conversion page, your online visibility, and also your print content. Okay? All right, thanks. So let's think about what happens in an internet minute. You know that it's expanded quite a bit and it's growing rapidly. And I want you to think about this for just a minute, that there are 1.3 million views of a YouTube video every minute. And that's a staggering number. So to think that the internet is not going to play a key part in what your customers are making their decisions with is probably kind of naive. You can see that the number of devices that are out there have grown, and that we really need to make sure that everything is crossing over because of the multiple ways that somebody can make a buying decision today. So I want to recap a little bit about what we discussed last week about what your needs are and what you're really trying to accomplish this year. So some of the things that are working well right now, you're doing bathroom remodeling. Some of your needs and what you'd like to improve on are your kitchens and doing more windows. The things that set you apart from your competition are the licenses that you guys get and your experience with some of the classes that you take and your design capabilities. The market that you're covering is mostly north and central. Your conversion rate if you received 10 calls, you'd receive about 6 of those would become jobs. So that's about a 60% conversion rate, which is really good. Right now you're doing 2 of your ideal jobs. You could really handle up to 6, and they're the amount that they usually spend with you is about $10,000 per job. So if you really look at that, your gap right now that we have identified is about $480,000 per year, and that would make a really big impact in your business. Then you would be able to expand and add more crews, and you might be able to do a little bit less of the work and hire more foremen. Is that correct? You want it fixed right now. Okay. So when you look at how you're appearing out there, you told me again that you mainly do work in North and Central, and you can see that there's quite a few contractors that do basically what you do in this area that you serve. So if you look over here on the map, you can see all these red dots are your competition, and then the corresponding information over here are the people that do what you also do. So you can see right now you're pulling up second, but there's also Encore and Kitchen and Bath Outlet, Rob's Construction. You said that the Kitchen and Bath Outlet is one of your main competition, and so is Signature. So the competition is pretty fierce, wouldn't you say, out there to try to get those jobs that you're striving for. So whenever I conducted a search to show, okay, what are some of the potential ways that your customers might be searching for you? Remember we talked about that earlier, how your customers searching. And some of the keywords, the phrases that they might use are kitchen remodeling and Godfrey. And you can see that there are, again, quite a few competitors that are out there that show up. And some of the ways that they are going after this business is they're paying for it. So you can see some of your competitors that are doing some of the search engine marketing ads that are out there that really tell a specific story about the kind of jobs that you're doing. There's also this map area, which you show up in pretty well, and some of the other ones that are working on their website to try to get some of these kind of jobs. Whenever I did some other searches that were out there outside of Godfrey, where you're located, you really weren't showing up as well. So do you think that that's an opportunity that you would try to fix right away? And just in case you were wondering, okay, Dawn, how much traffic, how much search traffic is there really out there for somebody that's trying to find a home improvement contractor? And I thought that I'd show this to you that, month by month, it really does change. But on average, there's around 750 monthly searches for those type of keywords. And you can see the different ways that they're searching. So kitchen remodeling is really high up there. And if you were to go out and try to do this on your own, do Google AdWords on your own, you would be probably looking at $9 a click just to try to get one person that's clicking on something that wants kitchen remodeling. When you move over and we look at windows, which again you said was the number 2 thing you really wanted to work on, it's even higher. I mean, you can see right here that there are roughly between 5,000 and 6,000 monthly searches for windows out there in this marketplace. And some of the terms that they're looking for are window installation, window prices, window replacement, and they're also highly competitive. And if you were to go out there and try to do that on your own, it's about $27 a click, which is kind of high if you were trying to do that on your own and not really sure how to design an effective ad. So again, let's talk a little bit about the SEO metrics and the search engine marketing metrics that you can deal with. So up here and at the side, like I explained before, there are the paid ads that are here, and you can see that you've got some competition that's here. The bath filter is up there, bathroom contractors, and over here to the right, there's Home Depot that's in your local area, and they're really, so this is a really aggressive area that people are going after. So you can pretty much bid on those and pay to get to the top, where whenever you look at the search engine optimization, that tells a story about your website and how popular and how trustworthy it is. And you can see that Encore is showing up pretty well here in a number of different areas. So they're really doing some things on their website to make sure that they're showing up in the organic section. And we know that 70% of the people that are going to make a buying decision go to the organic section, and 30% are still going to make a buying decision based on what they find on the paid site. So can you see why you really need to try to own this page and be there just like Encore is whenever somebody's making a buying decision to try to find kitchen remodeling? Okay, now let's talk about your website. So I did an analysis of your website, and I thought that you had some really good things going on with this website. You can see that your contact information is really easy to find. Your photo that you have over there of your 2 sons that were there, that make a personal connection, as well as the picture of a deck that you have recently added on. You have some sale information that's there, talking about the different sales that you're having on your windows. Many different pages so that a potential customer, remember, are they finding what they're looking for, have different ways in which they can access the information, and some really good before and after pictures. Some of the other things that I found that we could work on, though, are testimonials. That those are really important to people. The referrals and reviews and things like that are huge whenever somebody's trying to add on something that's going to cost about $10,000. And the sale information, while it's good that it's on there, it looks like it's a little bit outdated. So one of the things that you want to keep in mind is when you want to come up in the organic section, like we talked about before, Google really looks for information that's continually being updated and content that's changing all the time. That shows that you're really interested in trying to grow your business and also capture that organic traffic. So by having this on here, it's probably not telling your complete story the way that you want to in the eyes of Google. So I'd recommend fixing that right away. As well as whenever you look at these, even though you do have many good pages up here, they're not labeled very well. So whenever a search engine goes out and tries to deliver back the information to the end user, if you don't have things in these tabs that describe what they are, the search engine really doesn't know how to deliver that information back, so they just won't. Think of it like this. These are file cabinets. And in a filing cabinet, most of them have labels on what you'd pull out if you were in that drawer, and then labels of what the files are that are in that drawer. Just the same way with this. If these aren't labeled, think of these as a drawer. There's nothing really to pull out and access that really shows really what's in these. So you're really being penalized for not having that on there. So do you think that this would be something that you'd want to fix right away to help capture some of this business you were talking about? Okay, so now that we talked about a little bit about the way the website looks, and that's one thing, that there's also another variable that comes into play, and that comes in with your trustworthiness that the search engines are really looking for. So overall, for your website, out of 100 points, you're scoring about 41 points. Now, I know that probably doesn't sound really good, and yes, there's a lot of ways to improve this, but it really isn't all that bad. It's saying, you know what, you've got the basic things that are out there that we're looking for, but there is room for improvement. When you look at whether Google says, yes, this website is very popular and a lot of people have been clicking on it and we want to deliver the information back, your page rank is 0 out of 100. So that's one thing. It also determines how many links are coming into your site based on some relevant search engine companies that are out there like dexknows.com and yellowpages.com. Those are also going to provide some trustworthiness to you because they've got a lot of the information that the search engines are looking for. You've also got an opportunity here. Whenever the search engines look at your website, they see that, gosh, they haven't renewed their website and there's only about a year left on it. That might be a signal that, hey, Twinco may not be in business very much longer because they're not really taking the necessary steps to make sure that their website and their domain is renewed. And also, as far as the number of pages that are indexed, Google has 16 pages that are indexed, so that means that 16 of your pages they have said, you know what, we want to deliver that back, and that goes along. There really should be a whole lot more than this. That goes along the way that when we talked before that those file cabinets aren't really labeled, so they really don't know what to deliver back. So can you see that this is an opportunity here for you as well? And that'd be something that we'd want to fix right away with the 70% that are looking at the organic section. Okay, good. So again, we're going back to the search engines and we're talking about how they view your site, how they view your business. And one thing that is very clear is that they want consistent information about your business out there so that when the potential end user is looking at this, that it's all consistent and they don't have conflicting information that they're getting back. So I did a scan to say, okay, how are you showing up online and what's your reputation look like? And so out of all the different places, all the different directories and places that people can access your information, there are about 135 errors that have to do with your location and also with your phone number or your name. And I'm sure that that doesn't sound very good to you, again, because Google's going to make sure that, again, that the results that they deliver are going to be based on people that are reputable. And if there's all this inconsistency out there, they may not put your information out there. So we need to really get that fixed as soon as possible. You know, you can see a variation from the name to the address to that you're not standing out or that you're not listed at all. And one thing that's pretty important is since you have a showroom, if there's an incorrect address that's out there, and I see 5 or 6 incorrect ones, I mean, do you think that somebody that showed up at your facility to say, let me see what kind of windows they haven't made an appointment, that if they show up to the wrong place, do you think they're going to probably come back to try to do business with you? And probably the answer to that is no. So can you see that this is one area too that we really want to get and make sure that gets handled right away? Okay, and then also it's very important to know what's being said about you out there online as well. You know, if there's 1 or 2 negative reviews out there, don't you think it's important that you know what's being said and that you can go back and address it? Because that's really what your potential customers are looking for. They're looking for, did you address the issue that was out there? Great reviews are also good, but they want to make sure that you're responding to the other ones as well. So with there are ways that you can monitor that, and one of the ways is with an online presence with us. You can see that there are some issues with your listings like we talked about, and that really there aren't any popularity trends that are out there, and that really needs to get fixed. and what are people saying about you. You can also keep track of what up to 5 of your competitors, what's being said about them out there, so that you can keep your finger on the pulse with really what's going on in the industry. So what do you think about this? Do you think this is something also that might be a priority that we need to take a look at whenever I make my recommendation? Social media is one of those things that I know you love to hate it. It's not going away. I mean, when we go back to that one slide with how many people are actually viewing Facebook on a daily basis, they say that people check their Facebook page about 56 times per day, and that's pretty staggering. And so for a business to not have a presence out there on social media is probably not doing them any favors, as well as information that's not being updated. So right now, I did along with your online visibility, I saw that you do have a Facebook page, and Encore Bath Remodeling also have a Facebook page as well. Some of the things that I saw about your Facebook page are, it's kind of hard to read your contact information here, and whether or not you fix this with us or you fix it by yourself, I do believe it's important that you get it fixed, as well as there's not a whole lot of updates that go on. So saying things that are in the industry, any specials that you're running, you can look at this as word of mouth for you. Instead of word of mouth, it's word of mouth. So if you've got a bunch of people that liked your Facebook page and they see that you're running a special and that, you know, their friend down the street maybe needs new windows, they can share that information, and also, you know, get you a customer that way. Encore Bath, you can see that that's somewhat of what they do. I mean, they take an active role in making sure that their social media is managed, and that they're getting updates out there so that the information can get shared. So when we talked earlier, I don't think I brought this up earlier, but your website is mobile friendly and mobile compatible, and that's great because 70% of mobile searches call a business directly from the search results. So it is so important that the mobile gets handled too. I mean, it's going to, if it hasn't already today, in the next year, it's going to surpass the amount of usage that's out there for the desktop versions. So you want to make sure that your information is also being found out there, and that, you know, in the upcoming months, you're going to see some changes that Google's going to make that'll show this little phone on the search results that says whether or not your website is mobile compatible. And actually, Google's going to penalize those that aren't and let the end user know, hey, this website isn't mobile compatible, and so it's going to make it more difficult for you to do your search on it. So you might want to consider using another website that is more mobile friendly. So again, can you see how this is also going to play a big part into what's going on in the future? We talked a little bit earlier, whenever we met with you earlier, about branding, and while it wasn't high on the priority list, it is something to consider. Because you think of branding in the most traditional ways of whether or not it's a billboard or you're doing some newspaper advertising where you're trying to reach people before they even know that they have a need for windows or kitchen remodeling, right? What the online ads do are they're a lot more targeted. So let's say that Susie down the street did a search, say that she's just in the looking for, not necessarily having a need for, but doing the research to find out, okay, who has the best kitchens out there? And she might look at a bunch of different, do a bunch of different searches out there on the search engines. So now it triggers that, you know what, she's in your geography, and also she wants the type of contractor and business that you're looking for. So now whenever she goes to sign on to her Yahoo account, there's a dynamic ad of yours that, you know, says some of the things that you're doing. It's very short and sweet. It's very interactive. And it kind of follows her around to all the other places that she might look on a potential day, so that it says to you, hey, you know, don't forget about Twinco whenever you're ready to make this buying decision. So it's a really targeted way for you to be in their homes, a lot more like online stalking, if you will. You don't have to worry about whether they drive down that street or they subscribe to the newspaper. They've already done some of the research for you, and these ads can follow them around. And then while it may not impact your business, I know that you said with punch cards and things like that, you're probably looking at this going, whoa, what would a punch card do? You did say that it is important for you to get referrals, and that your referrals are your biggest opportunity to get new business. And so I'm not sure what you're doing to reward those people that are giving you referrals, but there are ways for you to stay in contact with those people to say, hey, you know what? We're running a special on the windows. We're running a special today on kitchen remodeling. Hey, let's get your granite countertops in today. And so it's a way for you to stay in contact with them to say, you know what? If you do give me a referral, you can do a punch card that says, hey, after 2 referrals, you can get a free backsplash, or just different ideas for you to stay in contact with them, or also to let them know what specials you have that are running that are out there. And so also, when you think about a website, and we talked earlier about Google likes to see websites that are being maintained and updated and fresh content, people that are viewing those, so we've got to get your website found, but whenever they get there, they want to make sure they want information that's fresh and up to date. So think back to, are you accessible whenever they're making their buying decision? Are you easy to do business with? A video means that 87% of the people are more likely to use you because of the video that they found, and that it's the fastest growing advertising format, and you have a 50% better chance to show up on the search engines like Google than if you had a traditional website. So think about a documentary style video of you guys and telling your story. I mean, it's the easiest way for you to tell your story in a very dynamic way, so that when they're done doing their research, they remembered, you know what, Twinco had this video, and they've been in business a long time. They do have the years of experience, the licenses that I'm looking for, and they can help me with my design work. So, I would recommend that you look into doing something like that, making your website, as we talked about earlier, it had some opportunities. I think this would seal the deal for a lot of the customers who are looking to get their kitchen updated. So what are you thinking about that? So we talked earlier about that, back to all those inconsistent listings. A lot of those places, they start with, and the way to get this fixed is what is on your Dexnos profile. And so as long as we make sure that all that information is accurate and up to date, whenever you go to fix that, we're going to access this information from your Dexnos profile to make sure that everything is consistent across the web. And remember how we were talking earlier about the mobile website and whether your website was mobile friendly or not? Well, it is, but let's say that it wasn't. Let's say that you're working on it and it's down for a little bit. Your Dexnos conversion page that's right over here is formatted for any kind of device. So once they look on here, you don't have to worry about it. They're going to have to pinch and pull to see your information. It's formatted the way the search engines want. And you can see over here that you've got some specials that are on here, and a visual of your logo, which is all very good. So this is where everything starts. This is what gets sent out. And so it's very important that we also keep this up to date with fresh content as you're making your changes to your website. As far as your print ads go, this is another one of the things that we talked about on the wheel. While I think that there's a lot of good information that you have in here. It's not cluttered. You have a photo that makes a personal connection, and you've got your years of experience that are, again, you said that's really what makes you stand out. That's all really good stuff, and really good things that are going to help an end user make a buying decision. Some of the opportunities, though, we know that whenever somebody is looking at an ad for the first time and they're not really sure who they're going to call, they really want to see a headline that says what it is that you do. So, maybe moving your full service window specialist up to the top and moving your contact information down to the bottom would be better serving and get you some more of those people who weren't already going to call you. You want to make sure that your ad is in a Z format. So tell them what you do, tell them the things that you're going to promise to them, a little more information, and then your contact information needs to be at the bottom. It seems like in the in-column ad, we've done a really good job of putting some of the things that you do all over, but we don't really do that in the larger ad. So my recommendation is to make some of those changes to just make it more impactful and get you more of those calls. Does that sound okay? So I've given you a lot of information, shown you how you're showing up, and I'm sure you're going, oh my gosh, there's so many different ways that I can appear out there, and I really need somebody to do this business with, and we want to be your partner. So good question. I'm glad you asked, and here's why. Here's some of the reasons why you need to choose us as your partner. Out of 16 companies in the United States, we are one of Google AdWords premier partners. So there's only 16 of us, and that makes that should make you feel really good that you have trusted us with your online marketing. I know that at one time we were a print only company, but now we're a digital company with a great print offering. We know what it is that Google's looking for. Google comes and talks to us before they make any major changes because we spent on your behalf more money than Walmart and Coca-Cola have spent on Google AdWords. And so we're really important to them. So if they're going to make a major change, they want to make sure that we have prepared our customers, you and us, to make sure that you are getting the best service possible. And then with those SEO, the search engine optimization things that I was talking about, we partnered with a company called Boostability. And out of all the companies that came to us, lots of people want to partner with us because we have, you to do business with, and it's hard for them to reach you. Boostability was out of all the marketing companies out there that do SEO. They're ranked number 2 in the nation. So I hope that makes you feel really good about the partnership that you have chosen with us to do your search engine optimization and trust us. And so, right now, you're right here. And we want to take you to number 1, and that's where you want to be too. So by using these two methods to get you there, I'm really confident that we can help you fill in that $480,000 gap that you're experiencing based on not being able to do the number of jobs that you're capable of. So when it all comes together, I want to keep it simple. I know I gave you a lot of information. I know that it is very confusing, and you've got a lot of choices out there. But really, what it really comes down to are 3 simple things. We want to make sure that you get found, that you get chosen, and that once you get chosen, you get talked about. So that, again, that word of mouth that we talked about with Facebook, that, again, that referral base continues to be strong. So some of the ways that we can help you get you found are on your print, on the search engine optimization, and on the search engine marketing. Just because we get you found, though, doesn't mean that they're going to choose you. So to choose you, we need to make sure that website is up to par with what it needs to be. Continue on with the mobile information and seal the deal with that video, and then get you talked about. Make sure that the Facebook is being updated. Make sure that when they are talking about you, you know about it, and that you are staying in contact with your current clients for referrals and letting them know about what the specials are so that they continue to come back. So I hope that this all makes sense to you, and that when I come back again with a recommendation for you, that you'll see that it's really the best thing for your business to help you fill in that gap. Thank you.